All right, Gary. We've been doing Jiu Jitsu for several years now, and you just started a Dear Jiu Jitsu page.
Yeah.
Can you tell me what that's about? It shows you video yourself during rolls, and it has breakdowns of what you're doing. But why did you decide to make it?
So I've only been doing jiu-jitsu for 4 years. That's the crazy part. Um, in the very beginning when I started as a white belt, I always recorded like with my GoPro band, just live rolls and did little matchups at the gym. And then when it came to this, that syndicate, I almost wanted to do it, but I was like, oh, dude, there's so many people here. Like, who do you think you are trying to record like these
Like
matches
how
right
everyone
now?
else does.
Yeah, literally. So I was like, no, no. When they Ethan during an AM class, he started recording, and then I looked at him and was like, "What are you recording?" He's, I'm just recording matches, some of the IG page. Like, dude, I've been trying to do that for a minute, thinking about it for a minute, and then it gave me the realization that no one gives a fuck. So I just grabbed my phone and started recording, and then just went from there.
Yeah, you know what's funny is that it's just so normalized now.
Yeah.
When we do rolls and when you videotape,
Yeah.
it's just not.
Yeah.
You know, it's not. It's almost even like you're not even recording. Like you're right. No one gives a shit.
It's a crazy one because like it literally in the very beginning, it's how long has it been? Like 6 months, 7 months now. I always have to make sure, right? Again, I'm never going to pick the amount, right? And now it comes to there's people that don't give a shit and really don't give a shit, and then there's people that give a shit, tell me they don't give a shit.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah, yeah. You can tell. You can tell. You automatically tell who's who. Once I'm like, oh, I'm just recording it. Fine. I'm not a highlight reel or anybody like that. Like, I'm not that great at jiu-jitsu. I just love doing this shit. So I'm still not gonna fucking do a backflip over a fucking arm bar and you're gonna single way.
Yeah, I'm sure you get some of those guys though that once the camera is on, maybe newer guys that we don't usually roll with,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
aren't regulars at the gym.
Yeah.
I'm sure they like probably turn it up maybe 75 to 100%. Have you ever had that?
Of course.
Okay.
It happens all the time.
Really?
Obviously, we're in the gym that there's but on average on a good day, 80 plus people.
Oh yeah.
Some people obviously very familiar with, some people that you're not. Mm, people get in their heels. They don't want to lose. And I get it. Right? I personally will lose every day. I don't care. It's not right. Mm-hmm. But people get in there just about losing. The only problem with that is we're just practicing.
It's true.
It's crazy.
I mean, there's something about the camera when it turns on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. It's almost like you're putting on a show for a lot of people when that thing goes on.
That is very true. I will say I do give them the benefit of the doubt. Who knows what I'm doing with these recordings?
Yeah,
because they don't know me. I could make some stupid little mashup where like I look like a king.
Yeah,
every single round, right? Smashing people. Obviously, that doesn't happen. So like, yeah,
like one of those guys that like bring in their girlfriends,
exactly.
and then like what Shay was talking about. It's just people, believe it or not, we've had certain circumstances at the gym. I've heard of some where people like obviously not from the gym.
Yeah.
Bring in like their girlfriends to make like a highlight reel of themselves and just start smashing like white belts.
Exactly.
And obviously they get greedy lit by the upper belts, which I think is fucking kind of crazy. I mean, I don't know. I almost want to say I kind of get why they do it. Just because, yeah, they want to make a highlight reel for their Instagram because that's what it's about, right? Yeah. So you're a highlight.
It makes sense.
It's like, Jesus, man, like, you're really good to do that at like a high testosterone. It's like, you don't have a self awareness. Like,
this happens every day, but that's why there's every single gym has their medic enforcers, right? It's like it's a necessary evil in that sense, right? You got your dudes that don't know how to roll with women. That's a personal pet peeve of mine.
Yeah.
Like dudes that don't know how to roll with women are weird to me. Or don't know how to control their strength at an adult age. It's the weirdest thing because I feel bad for women that don't get the opportunity to roll with as many people as they can, just because some dudes are assholes. Crazy. They want to win that medal.
Yeah.
Practice.
Yeah, and I'm sure this is obvious, but then they just can't get one up.
Yeah.
By someone, even if it's a girl, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Biologically, like obviously, like men are stronger biologically. Yeah. So it's almost like, wait a minute, don't you have like a sense to think, be a little delicate? I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong, they have to get the work in, and it has to be realistic in some sort of way because there's a fine line. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
As far as guys taking it too hard and they think they're like competition, even with
accidental elbow, accidental knees. Like, these women aren't badasses. Like, get choked out by elbow all day.
Oh, for sure. Fucking Laura, Jesus Christ.
Emily, trying to go all day.
Emily, she's very, very strong for her genomes. She's like, it's not even just like strong, like she's just fucking, she has great genes.
Dude, she's good.
Like she's fast, she's strong, you know? It's, so going back to your page, why is it that why are you making these breakdowns of your page? Like, is it to just show people, since grappling is kind of complicated and they don't, when an average normal human being that doesn't train jiu-jitsu watches that, they don't know what's going on? Or was it like...
So if I were a deep intellectual, I would agree with you. But I'm not. I did it just for fun. And I said, hey, I'm just gonna think out loud. Like, this is what I'm doing. This, I feel stupid here. Oh, I fucked up there. Oh, I did this right. I did that wrong. So I just made a page based off of that, where I was like, oh, let me just think out loud. People have said that they learned them. It was great. It never was intentionally for that, but it's great after effect of it or wave of it, which I can appreciate. But it's really just fun. And I was like, oh, I gotta add some words onto here, so it's not just randomness. It's just like tell a story for every kind of little video. Whether it's me getting smashed or like me doing a random Kimura roll into something. Yeah.
That's not the answer that I expected to hear, but then it's the answer I needed to hear.
Yeah.
Just because I say that just because anything you're doing something, it always has to be for fun and you have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you were thinking of like doing it intentionally and then have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Like you were just doing it for fun and just whatever.
Yeah.
But then that's kind of like the way to go about things. Just have no expectations while you're having fun and doing it. Because if you do get somewhere with it, and if you're consistent enough, you will. Like anything else.
Definitely.
It's you start paying attention to the certain nuances. Wait, am I doing this right? And then that's when it gets tricky, right? Because emotions get involved, and now you're not even free flowing and just having fun anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
You're just kind of like, oh, maybe I should do this for the camera because now I'm just getting more views and what people will think.
Yeah, start getting that mentality. Oh, I can't use too much, or I can't wait too much, or blah 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 blah. And then it's like, and then I'm not learning anything as well. Because again, I'm not the greatest person in jiu-jitsu. I just really love what I do when it comes to playing jiu-jitsu or having just training and actually like doing it by. It is essentially the happy place, the fun place, right? Therapy, all that in a box in a sense. So it's like, if I were to like put some type of restriction on there towards like, oh, I have to do this or I have to do that, it doesn't make it any fun, right? Yeah. Kids in the playground, right? If I put a leash on them, they're not gonna have fun. You got to take that leash off and just do whatever you want. Yeah, you definitely. What I noticed too, like quick little story, is that ever since I started doing jiu-jitsu with you, there seems to be like transformation. You kind of took it like it's almost like you fell in love with it deeper because you started the page. Yeah. You started coaching this class. You started getting more involved. Yeah. Like, from where I knew you, we were just training, right? Yeah. And then you kind of transitioned into more of the coaching aspects, then which you told me that you really like about it. And so I guess that's a great segue to ask. You now coach the kids classes and you help out, I'm sure, with the adult classes and all that stuff. Can you talk more about that aspect of, part of jiu-jitsu instead of actually just rolling? So I had a bunch of free time, luckily, full-time student, but I had a bunch of free time. And then I just noticed one day, like, with Jerry and Shane, they had such a great kids class there. And it was so popular. Amazing. There was like 80 kids on the mat, and there's 3 coaches with this Jerry, Shane, and Corey. Killer. And one day I was like, fuck it. I kind of wanted to see if they needed help, right? But who the fuck am I, right? I'm nobody. I've only been there for a year. But I just randomly kind of, with some help, right? Some nice words from people, kind of pushed me towards asking them, hey, can I assist you, volunteer, I'll come before class, I'd love to help out. And selfishly, I was like, oh, I'm going to learn something myself too. Right? That exactly was still something from which I do all the time. Everything that they're coaching the kids. So they were all about it. And I'm blessed that they're all about it too. So after that, though, coaching the kids.
Kids, they're stupid, but I love them. They're fun.
Yeah.
They're cool to mess around with, especially the ones that really, really get it. You see the passion, you see the development of them. They're the most fun. All kids are fun, but some kids are more fun.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So relating to that, you coach the kids classes. What kind of details does it entail? Because when I was in San Diego, so what I'm trying to say is that when I was in San Diego, it was almost like when I was teaching Muay Thai there. It was almost when I taught a kid, you had to gamify it a little bit. You know, some kids are different. Some kids like move around a lot. They don't know how to stay still. You know, and so for a lot of them, I had to like kind of gamify it. It's like, oh, run around in circles and then kick this bag and then run around in other circles.
Yeah.
What is your teaching method when it comes down to that?
For me, I don't have kids, so it doesn't. Jerry does it really, really well. He gamifies it or he uses analogies like Minecraft, etc., to for examples or stuff to do this. Pretend your foot's a pickaxe in Minecraft, right? For example, for me, I try to stupefy everything. Just make it as stupid as possible. Make sure anybody that I say this line to should be able to understand it. When it comes to gamifying it, I don't have that ability as of right now. It's more of I just try to make it as simple as possible. There's a saying that I love, which is just keep it simple, stupid. Right?
Okay, yep.
Just keep it simple, stupid. Anything can become very, very difficult or very hard to understand, right? I can use 10 different words to describe one thing, or I can just use one or two, right? Depending on who it's speaking to. But I just try to talk as slowly as possible to kids, make fun of them a little bit, make them laugh, and then kind of go through that approach.
Interesting. So something scary happened, obviously, and I was there, and being like, considering I'm a good buddy of yours down at the gym, I was like, damn, what happened? So you were on your back, like kind of laid out, and it's not probably, but it's one of the most scariest things in Jiu Jitsu to kind of have your spine tweaked or hurt. What happened, and how were you feeling?
Basically, my neck went sideways, and it just hit a nerve, right? Obviously, I'm walking, so right now we can say it's no big deal after the fact. But my neck just bent the wrong way. I'm pretty sure my neck touched my shoulder, and then a nerve hit. Something happened. All I remember really is just folding over and not being able to feel anything below my neck. Very scary, obviously. It probably only lasted couple minutes, but in my head, before anyone came over, my partner I was rolling with, he runs and grabs Jerry and Shane. That probably only took 10, 20 seconds, but I can say like that 10, 20 seconds, multiple things kind of went through my head. I'm never going to walk again, never going to do this again. What about my family, my parents, blah, blah, blah. I'm almost graduating. What the fuck am I supposed to do? You know what I mean? So all these, rabbit hole.
That's great insight, by the way, when you're going through all that.
That 30 seconds, right? It's like hell, basically. Scary as fuck. And then all of a sudden, I see Jerry's face pop into my eye, right? First thing I say is, my arm's like this. First thing I tell him is like, get my arm out of my face because I can't move my arm. It's suffocating. I'm suffocating myself.
Oh, man. Jesus Christ.
It's more funny than anything else, I think. Because, he's like, are you okay? I was like, just move my arm out of my face. He's like, got you. But I see the worry in everyone's face. So for some odd reason, it calmed me down. In a weird fucking way.
You took it well. You took it well.
Yeah. No clue why. I should have been crying. Should have been cussing the dude out. But shit happens, right? We sign up for this. We know things can go wrong very quickly, unfortunately. And it was just in that moment, there's bigger things to worry about than cursing someone out, basically. Or
I mean, at that time,
so.
You definitely did the right thing from objectively from where I was standing. I'm like, oh, everything's just fucking all right. Like, it seemed like you happened to be I know you're a nurse, a practicing nurse, but it's just, damn. Yeah. I would probably done the same thing, honestly. Yeah. I don't know because I wasn't there, but then that seems to be like how I approach things anyway. Yeah. So it's almost like, okay, well,
again, one of the big things though is literally because of the people around. Obviously, you were there. Teddy was there too. He was a big part just because he's a paramedic. he was able to kind of like calm me down just a bit more because I was scared as shit because I couldn't feel anything. It was all numb and tingly. So it was literally just because the people around. Obviously, if other people around, maybe I wouldn't have been so calm. But they luckily were fucking around, making jokes. Yeah, talking about, if I broke my neck, you get a boner. I was like, it's fucking a good joke right now. That's a good joke. I was like, can you check, please?
Yeah, that's really scary. I mean, it's one of the scariest things that could happen in jiu-jitsu because when I was in San Diego, I was training with a firefighter, and they're the ones that pretty much when they get a call, when something like that happens, it's the firefighters that get there first. And someone from Del Mar, actually, I don't know the full story, so I don't want to butcher it, but it was a takedown and someone got paralyzed, dude, and that's all she wrote, So that's what it kind of reminded me of. And honestly, you don't hear a lot of those things because for the most part, it's pretty safe because of the experienced training partners that you go to. Obviously, you have incidents like yours, what happened once in a while, but very rarely. Weirdly enough, right? Savage sport like this.
Especially because how popular it's gotten. And obviously, people have to become more aware of their body and stuff like that. Obviously, this is just a freak accident. I could have went the wrong way, blah, blah, blah. Like, it could have happened 20 different other ways, but it just happened this way in particular.
Yeah, man.
But it was pretty bad. But 2 months after, I was able to, luckily I actually wanted to come back earlier, but everyone's like, it's your neck, relax. I was like, fuck, dude. I want to get back on the mats.
Yeah, for sure.
But everyone's like, dude, it's your neck, just relax. There's no rush. I was like, I guess, right? But 2 months later, like 64 days to be exact, and then 10, 15 pounds heavier, no cardio.
It fucking looks like it, motherfucker.
Yeah,
Not in a bad way.
shitty.
I mean, you look big,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like I said, you take up the whole fucking camera. Okay, cool, man. Well, I think that's going to do it. So we have a kind of a tradition on this podcast, like kind of a monologue. So I want to ask you, what do you have for the viewers? Can you give them like an insight of what they should do when they're starting off in jiu-jitsu and what tips you would give them personally from what you've learned, and if anyone's just starting training or if they're already 3 months into training and what they need to learn?
That's a good question. There's so many different things, but from my personal experience, the biggest thing is being okay with losing and having two key things constantly during a live round: memory and asking questions, right? Closed mouths don't get fed. I love that line as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, you always say that line. That's a good one. That's a good one.
All day. So having a memory is in a sense where it's like when you're in a live round, memorizing what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong. Memorizing what your partner's doing right, memorizing what they're doing wrong, right? What did they do right to pass your guard? What did they do right to secure that Kimura, that arm bar, to break your closed guard, whatever it may be, right? And then what I would always do, and I still do it to this day, is instantly remember that one or two things and say, hey, how'd you do that?
Yeah.
This is just today. I got this guy in an X guard, full X guard. I got long ass legs. I should be able to sweep anybody, right? Full X guard.
Fuck them
I
legs.
go for the sweep, and motherfucker doesn't budge. And I'm just staring at him like a little child. And after the match, I'm like, hey, bro, why couldn't I sweep you? He's like, and then wrestle forever, like jiu-jitsu forever. He just knew exactly his body mechanics, so he wasn't going to budge, right?
Yeah.
And obviously, I just felt like a child. It was terrible. It was sad. But, yeah, asking questions, not being afraid to lose, and having some type of memory. One of the biggest tips as well, especially if you're beginning, is taking notes. That's all I did for the first 2 years. Take notes every single day of every single class. I didn't even look back at it, but it's I believe it's just research on it. When you write things down, you're able to memorize it even better.
Yeah.
So that would be like big tips.
Very nice, dude. That's well said. So the last thing I have for that, since in relating to the topic of jiu-jitsu, is that it's definitely a journey.
Yeah.
Definitely a journey.
Yeah.
So you might as well just buckle up and enjoy the ride.
Yeah. It's not gonna be fun.
It's not gonna. It's
It's
just
not gonna be fun.
most of the days. It's not gonna. even when you get pretty good and
Yeah.
progress, most of the days you're just gonna feel like shit. Like
yeah,
you're just gonna
9
be
times
heavy
out
on
of
your
10.
feet,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
But you can't really think about it. You can't really like think about that. You just gotta go. Sometimes,
Yeah.
personally for me, I'm just on autopilot.
Yeah.
You know, and not that I'm not intentionally not learning.
Yeah.
It's just. Yeah, sometimes I just feel like shit. Sometimes my body's not moving correctly.
Yeah.
Sometimes my head space is in another.
Yeah.
It's distracted by
Yeah.
something else going on in my personal life.
Yeah.
But just try to just blank out and
Yeah.
just go with whatever technique you learned
That's one of
and
the
let it
other
carry
things
you
too.
over.
Like if you are the best person at the gym and you're just swamping everybody,
Yeah.
you know, you may need to change that up, right?
Yeah.
Because we get swamped. I got swamped this morning like crazy. I'm just broken up and tired right now.
Yeah.
If you're not getting your ass kicked a couple times during a day in training, there may be an issue there. You may
Yeah.
need to start hitting up some more open mats. Like
Yeah.
you may be the best at your gym, but doesn't mean you're going to be the best.
Of course.
Yeah. So It's, you got to broaden that.
Yeah,
horizon.
that's funny you say. Yeah, it's almost like you're in your own box.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
you're in your own
comfortable.
world of
Yeah.
delusion where
Yeah.
you're like, well, I'm pretty good here,
Yeah,
and then
exactly,
you're
yeah.
afraid to explore to kind of not hurt that ego.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Awesome, dude. Well, this is a good podcast. I appreciate you coming
you,
on,
bro.
taking the time.
Appreciate you. Follow Jiu Jitsu.
There it is.